Have you ever opened a list in Servicenow and wondered why you only see certain records, even though you know more data exists in the database? Well, in Servicenow, that's not much. It's the power of query business rules. In this video, I'll break down exactly what a query business rule in Servicenow is, how it works behind the scenes, and why it's one of the most important tools for security, performance, and data governance. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel and stick around until the end. I've linked a complete lesson on business rules where I cover the full life cycle, like before, after, display, and async rules, so you'll get the full picture using business rules in ServiceNow development. Now, setting the stage, let's start with the basics. In ServiceNow, a business rule is a piece of server-side logic that executes whenever a record is queried, displayed, inserted, updated, or deleted. So as I scroll down under the When to Run tab, let us open these different categories on when to run a business rule. The before rules, it modifies data before it's saved, while the after rules, it triggers logic after saving data. The async rules, it runs tasks in the background, while the display rules prepare data before a form loads. And the query rules, which is today's topic, on the lower right, which executes when records are retrieved. Each type plays a unique role in the lifecycle of data, but the query business rule is special because it happens before anything else, before the database even hands results back in return. Now let us move to the next tab and let's use this diagram to visualize where query business rules fit into the bigger picture. And here's the flow. From the top left, a user query or system query is triggered. This could be your opening a list or a system fetching records. Now the query business rules execute, and this is the first checkpoint. Then the database query runs with those conditions applied. Next, the display business rules prepare the data that you will be seeing on a form. When you hit submit, before rules validate or adjust your input, then the data is written to the database. Finally, after or async rules kick in, sending notifications, triggering integration, or logging audit trails. So you can see query business rules right at the start. They shape the dataset before anything else happens. A query business rule, as we go to the top left, is essentially a filter that changes what records are retrieved from the database. It doesn't modify the data itself, it simply changes the query ServiceNow runs. Think of it like this. If ServiceNow is about to say, show me all incident records, the query business rule can jump in and say, actually, only show incidents where the assignment group is the same as the user's group. That means users only see what they're authorized to see. It's like a security guard at the gate checking IDs before letting records pass through. And this is one of the good use cases of a query business rule. Now, let's go back to the developer instance or the PDI, and let's look to a practical example. And on this demo, I have named it restricting the group of an incident. So it has to be, of course, pointed to the incident table. And by clicking the advanced checkbox, it will allow you to create this script. Suppose we want users to see only the incidents assigned to their group. So on line 4, the first step, we get the user who's logged in. and get all the groups in return, and if he is a member of this group, then basically we are filtering out that he will be able to only see the assigned group on the user's group he is a member of. This line 6, the current.add query, it modifies the SQL to only include records matching those groups. So what is the result of this query? On this example, we will be using Beth Anglin, who is a member of some groups, and she will only see incidents that he is a member of. And all of this will go automatic as we basically enable this business rule. And as it loads, it will filter out the data even before the query runs into the database. Before we go deep dive on how the script runs, I'd like you to look at quite a few things on creating a new rule. So make sure that the purpose of your business rule is giving a clear name. So right now we are restricting the group while viewing the incident. So as you navigate and create multiple query rules, it will be easy for you to identify on which table you are intended to impact or apply the rule set in filtering the restriction to your data. And as you configure and copy this code and ensure when to run it, implementing before and taking the query, and now you are good to go. So let us save this query at this stage, and you will notice I have intentionally left it inactive. And let us navigate to one of the service desks and impersonate Beth Anglin. So eventually our rule set is eventually switched off. And as we navigate back to all active incidents, you will see at the lower bottom, Beth Anglin can basically view all 152 records. And now let us go back to the admin and let us now switch on the business rule. And as we navigate back to the business rule, let us now enable the business rule to ensure that the rules will now take effect. As now we are sure that this rule will apply, let us navigate back to Beth Anglin. Let us see the results of this business rule set. And as we navigate back to the number of incidents, and you will see at the bottom that now Beth Anglin is restricted to see the group assignments beyond Beth Anglin's coverage. If you're finding this video helpful, take a moment to like the video and drop a comment below with your favorite query business rule use case. And don't forget, you can test this out in a free Servicenow developer instance. If you have not created so, I have added at the end of the screen on how to create a personal developer instance. So why business rules matter? So why should you care about query business rules? Number one, it's security and privacy. So you can see in our example, we managed to enforce who can see what at the database level. Another important thing is data governance. Automatically, you can apply organizational rules to record the visibility. Thirdly, you can optimize the performance. It reduces load time because you manage to filter out irrelevant records at an early stage. And finally, it's consistency. Users don't get to apply filters themselves. You can govern the system data, and the system does it for them. They're especially powerful when combined with ACLs or access control lists. And I have created a separate lesson about ACL where you can find at the end of the screen. So both of these capabilities will give you both row level and field level control. And of course, you need to use them wisely. And I'd like to give you a few best practices. I want you to make sure that you keep queries efficient. Don't overload the database with very complex conditions. And it's very important to document your rules. So future admins should understand what exists in your current configuration. Also ensure to test across roles and ensure that you are not hiding so much. So creating governance level like user groups and adding membership to those user groups will give you good control and governance of your implementation. And I also added the best practices about user groups playlist that you'll also find at the end of the screen. And finally, complement the ACLs out of the box. Don't replace them. Use both together. And ServiceNow has implemented these best practices. Use both together for a layered security. Now, one of the pitfalls I've seen, admins make the query so restrictive, think records are missing. Always validate before deploying to production. Now, let's have a short recap. Query business rules run before the database retrieve records. They act as a gatekeeper, shaping visibility and enforcing security. They're essential for privacy and performance. With a few lines of script, you can control exactly what users see without even touching the UI. Now, if you want to go deeper, watch the complete business rules lesson linked at the end of this video. That's where I covered the full life cycle, like before, after, display, and async rules in detail, so you can master the full life cycle of the business rules in ServiceNow. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and join as a member to keep the channel going and add the super thanks to further support my channel. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.